This video will function as a definitive guide on how you can leverage your customers' feedback automatically to actually drive you more traffic and more sales. So as you might know, very often when they contact you, they have a question about your brand, maybe you're selling clothes, they want to ask about the sizes or return policies or whatever it might be. They have some kind of simple question where you can easily mail them back and get it answered. Now, what does that look like? Well, customer has a question, they ask it to you, they send you an email, they use the support system, whatever solution you might have, and then you answer them directly. Now, what is this? This is one-to-one communication. It has zero leverage, which means that if you have 100 orders, well, then you need to do this thing 100 times, right? Now, every time someone asks something, keep in mind, this is usually rooted in some kind of objection, right? So if they ask you about the sizes, well, it's an objection because they don't necessarily believe that the size that you have, that you're presenting to them, is exactly what they need. Now, why don't they believe that? Well, that might be because they are missing some measurements, or maybe they know that different brands have different sizes of these kind of things. I'm just talking about fashion here. It could be anything else. It could be you're selling sofas. You're not entirely sure if this will actually fit in, and you're not entirely sure how to measure it, whatever it is, right? What happens is that, or what you guys don't realize, a lot of you, is that every single customer, or even just a visitor who has something to say before putting down the money, is essentially handing you an objection, right? Where if you guys battled it, well, then many more visitors who also comes in and have this thought, they would possibly buy from you. You know it yourself. When you go to a website, you are looking for something and you're not entirely sure if this product is exactly it. Maybe you're buying a phone and it doesn't have all of the specifications with how much memory it has or whatever. Well, then you are very likely going to a competitor looking for the exact same product, but where they have better description, because then at least you're sure that this is actually the product that you're looking for, right? Isn't that a shame? Because then you're basically just preparing your competitor to get your sale just because you didn't communicate it well enough. So what do you guys do usually? Well, you, just like I said before, you respond to them, right? One-to-one, which means that imagine here you have 100 customers per day and one single supporter, or maybe you're just yourself, or you have a very small team. Well, then you're going to have 100 different emails you need to send about the same stuff every single day, right? Wouldn't it be better to make this information available on your product page, on your FAQ, or wherever else you want to? So a solution for this, what we recommend our clients to do, is that whenever a customer gives you an objection, whenever they ask a question, or whenever they say this is not good enough, whatever it might be, well, then you want to use it as leverage for making your product and offering better. You want to take it in, listen to what they actually say, and use this to make a better product or a better delivery. Because if you're selling, let's say you're selling shirts, right? Just like this one. You're not sure about the size, just like the example before. Well, then you need to just communicate it better. It's very simple, right? They are literally handing you on a platter what their objection is. Solve this and more people will buy. And what people do is that they read it and then they send one email back and that's it. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So I recommend that you use all of your available channels to tell your customers about this product improvement or just service improvement or whatever it might be. Remember, the customer experience is part of your offering. If you offer the same as me, but my service is way better, people will come to me. They might try you first and then they will realize that it's a hassle and then they will come to me instead. So you're just serving their customer. That's not good for you. The way that we solve this, generally speaking, I actually have a, let me just see here. So again, this is what typically happens, customer with question, and then, your supporter answers it directly back, no leverage, right? What I recommend that you do is that you go in, you see customer has a question, they send you an email, they do whatever. Then you ask, could other visitors, other potential customers, could they have this or a similar question / problem? If no, well, then you answer them directly. But it's very rarely going to be this case. Very often it will be yes, because otherwise, they wouldn't ask it, right? So you answer them and you add a section to your FAQ. You send them the answer on their email or whatever it is that they contacted you on with a link to your FAQ. Now, why do we want to go through the hassle of making a whole new section to our page? Because this is obviously going to take longer than just replying to the email once. Well, there are a few good reasons for this. So first of all, your customer is satisfied, right? They get satisfied, you answer them. This is what we need to do. Secondly, they see that you actually listen to their problem and you actually implemented in a solution. This is something that your customer will remember. So very likely they will come back again just by you doing that. Now it all of a sudden makes sense to have done it, right? This is only the first consequence that we have, or the first and second consequence. The second consequence specifically is that your SEO ranking improves, because now you're going to begin and get traffic to this FAQ section because you all of a sudden have a lot more content on it, right? So people who look up what sizes are used in New York or what sizes are used in Denmark for large, whatever, if that was their question, right? Well, then guess what? Your FAQ is going to be there, right? And it's going to bring traffic to your page. So your SEO actually improves. The third consequence of this is then, because of your SEO improved, well, then you're going to get more qualified traffic. And as we all know, if you have more people looking at your stuff, well, then there is a higher possibility that one of them is going to purchase, right? And the fourth consequence is, well, then you're going to get more paying customers. And because you get more paying customers, you get more feedback, which means that you can improve your system, which means that you can get even more qualified traffic, which means that you can get even more customers. So this whole thing loops. It's a flywheel, right? The more information you can get in and that you can basically make into something that is valuable to your customer, well, the better product and service you're going to have, which means that you can attract more customers, which also means in the end, especially when you're doing a D2C brand, if you have your own brand, well, then you can set your own gauge, right? You can adjust the prices. So this is also something that will allow you over time to charge more, because people know that if they buy from you, it's good shit. It works. They have no questions about it. They have absolutely no questions. It works. Look at Apple, right? No one is buying a MacBook and wondering if it works, right? Versus if they buy some random Chinese brand that nobody knows about, it might be a just as good computer that is much cheaper, but they have no information on it. They haven't heard about it before. They haven't read about it. They have a whole lot of questions, so it just doesn't happen. So, one more thing that is good for you to have is to make sure that you have a brand guideline. So if you have someone answering comments for you, if you have someone answering emails for you, make sure that they know how we respond to, good and bad comments. Make sure that they know if they should respond with humor or if they should just hide it away, delete it, whatever you choose to do. Me personally, I like to basically keep people engaged. So if you can answer is in a simple, humoristic way, well, then you do that, because that will actually bring more engagement to, in this case, a social post, which means that you will get more reach, which means that that negative comment actually ends up giving you more eyeballs, which in turn can give you more sales. So that's another way of leveraging it. Once you have enough content on your FAQ page, you can leverage email triggers. So for those of you who don't know what this is, it's basically if you send me an email on the weekend, let's say, well, then it gives you an automatic reply, right? I'm away, whatever. That's time defined within a certain time. You can also make triggers so that if you have let's say you have a question, you mention the word size. Well, then I use that as a trigger to send you an automated email with a link to our FAQ section that talks about sizes. Now, of course, will be less personal than someone actually responding directly, but you can see how if you are a big business with not a lot of people, well, then very quickly it makes sense for you to leverage these type of systems. And you can only make those systems if you have noted down and leveraged that customer feedback to start with. So I hope this all made sense. I hope this was somewhat valuable to you. If it was, please give this video a like. Do something with it so that I can see that it's appreciated. If not, let me know what I can do to improve it. And with that said, I'm just wishing you all an amazing day. Bye.